reading from Human Rights Watch Watcher, Queer a la Mode. I'm really shaken up right now. I was just visited by 2 plainclothes police officers from California Highway Patrol at my home. They said they came here on behalf of the Capitol Police and accused me of threatening AOC on Twitter yesterday. This is provably false?
Provably, yeah.
Safety Service Security, Christopher Van Claveren. Am I doxing him? No, right?
I don't
No,
think so.
I don't think
He's a cop.
so.
That's his
He's a cop.
business card.
Yeah, business card. I'm actually giving him business. I assume that this is the tweet they are talking about where I lightly criticized AOC for a disappointing answer in response to a question about Palestine. Okay, here it is. Ready? On April 1st, AOC did a live stream with Michael Miller, the head of the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York. She was asked about peace between Israelis and Palestinians. Her response was incredibly underwhelming, to say the very least.
What actions do you think can be taken to support movements towards peace, both between Israelis and Palestinians, as well as within the entire region, such as the Abraham Accords?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, earlier just now, you and I were talking about the what and the how.
Yes.
And I think that when we talk about establishing peace, centering people's humanities, protecting people's rights, it's not just about the what and the end goal, which often gets a lot of focus. But I actually think it's much more about the how and the way that we are coming together and how we interpret that what and how we act in the actions that we take to get to that what. And so what this really is about is that it's a question more than anything else about process. And so we really need to make sure that we are valuing a process where all parties are respected and have, a lot of equal opportunity to really make sure that we are negotiating good faith, et cetera. That being said, I think that there's just this one central issue of settlements, because if the what that has been decided on is two state, then the action of settlements it's not the how to get to that what. And so, I think that that's a central thing that we need to make sure that we center and that we value Jewish and rather we value Israeli. We value the safety and the human rights of Israelis. We value the safety and the human rights of Palestinians in that process that is similar and that on equal footing. And so all of that is extremely important in that process.
Okay. I hadn't seen that before. Had you seen that, Leslie?
No, I haven't. But I mean, everybody's been on the podcast too stoned to really make a coherent point. We've all been there. We've all been there. It happens to the best of us. You hate to see the haters, clip it, but yeah, yikes. But now it's just like, well, I guess I'll go on and try not to say anything that won't get anybody mad at me and try to come up with it on the spot. And maybe if we just center... If we center voices right, and we don't forget that the what can't be the how. The what can get us to the how, but it's not the how. The how is something different, and if you don't find out what the how is, the what doesn't matter. And really, it's really about the why. It's really about the why and the who, and we need to who are the who. Who are the people? These are the people. These are the stakeholders. These are the people we have to center. Now, when will we take action? When will we do something about this? And where will we do it? Obviously, Israel. But what is Israel? Again, another what? Because, and who is Israel? Who are the people of Israel? Is it a one state? Is it a two state? Is it a red state? Is it a blue state? Is it a purple state? Can we come together,
Dr. Seuss,
as one Israel? That's two states, three peoples, four places, five hows, five ways to get there. And when we do this, we will know the how and the what because we're focused and centering on the who, and that's what's important.
Words AOC used. What, how. Words AOC didn't use. Occupation, apartheid, colonization, genocide. Actually, they
transcript.
transcribed it. Okay, we got to look. You and I were just talking about the what and the how. Someone has to put this over a beat so it's like spoken word. And I think that we talk about establishing peace, centering people's humanities, protecting people's rights. It's not just about the what and the and goal, which gets a lot of focus, but I think it's much more about the how, the way we're coming together and how we interpret that what and the actions that we can take to get that what. What this really is about is it's a question more than anything else about process. We really need to make sure that we are valuing a process where both parties are respected and have a lot of equal opportunity, that we are negotiating good faith, etc. There's this one central issue of settlements. If the what that has been decided on, then the action of settlements. It's not the how to get to that what. I think that's a central thing. We need to get that. We center, that we value the Jewish, rather the Israeli, value the safety of Israelis. We value the rights of Palestinians in a process that is similar on equal footing. What the fuck was the question, by the way? Does anyone know what that question was?
I've never seen you so angrily ask what the fuck. I've never seen you say.
Well, I just realized, like, what on earth? What was that question? Was it about the settlements? Because that's not a hard thing to answer. And in fact, what I meant to say, I forgot to say this when Abby was here, and one of the things I loved about her Gaza documentary was that it's like you can have whatever feels you have about Israel and Palestine, what should have been done, right of return, two-state solution, one-state solution, honestly. But they violate norms all the time. They just engage in illegal war crimes all the time that go against the UN. And it's like totally black and white. And it's not particularly like, it's just fact.
That is worth pointing out, because I actually don't see a lot of defenses of the settlements. Like, people don't defend the settlements from what I've seen. Like, pro-Israel people don't defend the settlements. They kind of gloss over it or change the subject.
It bulldozes back better.
So this actually changes my feeling about this, because it's actually quite cowardly if the question was about settlements for AOC. If the question was about settlements, if she was bringing it up to kind of deflect from a larger question, then okay. But if the question was specifically about settlements, then if you're a Democrat, you can just say stop the settlements. Like you don't have to equivocate about settlements. You don't get in trouble for saying we have to stop the settlements. Like, that's actually not a problem. They would expect AOC, allegedly the most left-wing member in Congress, at least the perceived most left-wing member in Congress, to say stop the settlements. That's not like, that wouldn't be a controversial thing, but I don't know what the question is. So
here it is.
That might not be fair.
I'm tracking it down.
What actions do you think can be taken to support movements towards peace, both between Israelis and Palestinians, as well as within the entire region, such as the Abraham Accords?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay,
so,
she doesn't know. I don't think she knows what the Abraham
Mhm.
Accords are.
No idea.
I think that's what actually threw the question off.
Do you think?
Yeah, let's see if we can see in her face when she has it.
What actions do you think can be taken to support movements towards peace, both between Israelis and Palestinians, as well as within the entire region, such as the Abraham Accords?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Oh, I could feel it. Like, it was going so well. It's like, okay, this isn't too bad. But then it's like Abraham Accords, and then it's like, what are the Abraham Accords? What do I gotta say about it? Let's stall for time. Let's stall for time.
Yeah, she gets emotional. She turns inward.
Yeah. So I'm back to.
I know.
I'm back to AOC's side. I think she just actually got caught with a question, and she did, and bringing up the settlements in that incredibly sloppy way was an attempt to push something, right? Not the, as we said already, saying no to settlements is not the most hardcore position. Like, you can just say that. That's not a problem. But I do think that maybe this is just kind of a flat-footed moment and not a larger reflection of a political opinion or anything. So I would maybe say AOC innocent, maybe tired, maybe stoned, maybe just caught off guard about something, and she was like, what the fuck are the Abraham Accords? And she just starts talking, then it's word salad. even though the Abraham Accords just were signed and she should know, maybe she just didn't pay that much attention to it because not that many people did.
It's fake because it was these countries that basically got along and had a lot of mutual interests, and then
Yeah.
Trump and then pretended that they brokered this big peace.
She was thinking maybe I need to scramble for something at call off guard. So I got a rule on that AOC, kind of an innocent. But see, that's the value of coming here because, you go on Twitter and it's all just the immediate reaction. But you take a breath, you look at the context, you do some mind hunting, you do some criminology, and you see that actually this is not an example of AOC necessarily selling out, although she should have a better
Right,
take on
but
the
it's-
settlements. But it was just kind of a mess. It was just kind of
right. It was a mess. Here's our message to people who are crapping on AOC right now on this particular issue: settle down. You're welcome. I'm here all night, guys.
Oh God, we're gonna be accused now. It's week to week whether I log on to Twitter Friday morning. I'm being accused of what I'm being accused of. I think tomorrow's gonna be AOC defender. I guess AOC stand.
Yeah, exactly.
Last week it was AOC hater. The week before, or maybe China. Maybe with China.
Oh, you definitely made a name for yourself tonight with China.
They're gonna get us with that, but it doesn't matter. You can't. What are you gonna do? Fire me?
Yeah. Oh my God! I've never seen you happier than just now. Just like you never saw me ask what the fuck more angry,
angrily.
what the fuck?
Such as the Abraham Accords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, earlier just now, you and I were.
So she got spiritual,
and
then
yeah, she did. She did
right?
the black church thing. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She did
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Yes.
She got moved by the spirit, and she did the just gesticulating, right?
The Abraham Accords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, earlier
It's that
just
last
now,
thing.
you and
It's
I
just
were,
that Abraham
we're
Accords
talking about
thing.
the what and the how.
The whole
centering
time
people's
she's trying to
humanities,
Abraham
protect-
Accords, Abraham
I
Accords,
know.
Abraham Accords, Abraham Accords. Keep talking, Abraham
people's
Accords.
rights.
Keep talking,
It's-
Abraham Accords. Do I have
It's
to say
not
something about
just
the Abraham
about the
Accords?
what and the
It would
the
be
end
really funny
goal,
to
which
do
often
like
gets a
an
lot of
internal
focus.
monologue, write it out.
Yeah.
Abraham
But
Accords.
I actually
Abraham.
think it's much more about the how.
But here's the thing,
and
Katie.
the way that we are
I think
coming
this
together
happened to
and
you.
how
It's
we
happened to
are-
everybody who
how
does
we
these things.
interpret that what
When
and
you're
how we
stalling for
act,
time and thinking about one thing, and then you say "fuck it," I'm not
the
thinking about that
actions
thing
that we take
anymore,
to
and
get
you try to
that
get
way.
back to
And so
talking.
what this
You
really
don't
is
know
about
what you're
is the
saying.
question
You
more than
forget
anything
what
else
you're
about
saying in the
process.
middle of it.
There's just this one central issue of settlements, because if the what that has been decided on is two state, then the action of settlements it's not the how to get to that what. And so, I think that that's a central thing that we need to make sure that we center, and that we value Jewish and rather we value Israeli. We value the safety.
Yeah.
Sounds Israeli. She
and-
sounds like an Israeli.
Yeah, she got lost there.
She did subconsciously the Andrew Cuomo as a New Yorker. I'm a Jew. I'm a Muslim. I'm a woman. She kind of went through different cultural things. At the beginning, she went spiritual,
Yes.
and then at the end, she turned into an Israeli. Hey, it's not the. She's basically trying to oppose settlements by saying if the what is a two-state solution, then settlements are not the how to get there. If the what is two states, a two-state solution, then the how cannot be through settlements. She's basically saying settlements are what's the word, GameStop, non-starters. Settlements cockblock the two-state solution. There you go.
Mr. Cobbler. Yeah, that's basically what she's saying, and it would have been it would have been very simple for her to just say that.
Yeah.
I think the criticism is fair, but actually watching the video, I think it's more of a bad media moment than with kind of cowardly politics, kind of cowardly mainstream politics.
But I want to know what's happening now. What is happening now?
Okay, so the plainclothes officers, I'm really shaking up now. I was just visit. I assume this is a tweet they were talking about, where I lightly criticized AOC for a disappointing answer on Israel. Yeah, and so
I
So
I
go back to-
recognize she probably refused, but I shouldn't be harassed by police for I frankly feel unsafe in my home right now.
Yeah,
what
that's
the
really
hell?
fucked up. That's really fucked up.
I want to know what they said to her, though. I was just visited by 2 plainclosed police officers from
Well, they probably had to delete it, and because the cops are coming to. Oh, this is California Highway Patrol. It was this Chips. Oh,
Yeah.
it's fucking Chips.
It was Eric
for
Estrada
some reason, I thought
showed
it was Capitol Police. So why is a Chips officer in California doing this about?
Yeah, what the
That's
hell?
actually like incredibly chilling. Like the more like you expect, okay, the Capitol Police, they have fuck else to do, or Secret Service. This is kind of what they do. They go around and intimidate people. When did this become the California
and they
Highways Patrol?
investigator?
When did like tweets become their kind of
Their beat.
Yeah, that's very.
I know. Shouldn't that be a cyber thing or something? What if this person is a cop impersonator? We were saying how a lot of serial killers want to be cops or whatever.
And some do impersonate cops. Yeah, that's
So what if-
actually
yeah.
very common. That's really fucked up. That's
yeah.
really fucked up. That's really dark. That's awful.
Yeah, that's terrible. Well, if you want to come on the show, Queer a la Mode, we are a safe space for you to come and talk on this. But you know who's coming on right now?
Who?
None other than Aaron Mate.
Oh, great.
Because someone brought him up. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
I'm sorry. I just want to apologize to the audience. So that's just, if I'm watching this show right now and Katie Halper says, you know what's coming on right now?
Oh,
Aaron Mate.
What do you mean?
I'm thinking I'm getting the fuck out right now.
Oh, they were
getting
talking. They were
Why?
talking about how great your
Yeah.
show was in our chat. We had to bring you
Yeah,
on
that's
to
why
compete.
I'm excited. Aaron
well,
Mate, we redeemed AOC.
You did? Really? I missed
Yeah,
that.
because she actually was making, like, at first we thought that she was being terrible.
Uh-huh.
She was just confused and lost her train of thought and definitely didn't know what she was talking. Like, she didn't know what the Abraham Accords were. That's what it was.
You know what? I think you're being too generous to her here. She's asked about specifically about peace between Israel and the
Right.
Palestinians, and then the Abraham Accords, which has to do with Israel
Right.
and some of the Gulf states.
Yeah, a
And-
fake brokered piece that didn't need to be
Yeah,
brokered. Yeah,
And the point is, she's talking about a very simple issue of apartheid,
right.
worse than apartheid when it comes to Israel and the Palestinians. And she won't say it. She will not say it. And I think that's her problem. She knows the reality. She must know it by now. It's not difficult.
Right,
Everyone knows it. I mean, maybe 20 years ago you can get away with feigning ignorance, but
right.
it's pretty obvious now. And she won't say it. She doesn't want to piss off the Israel lobby and her Democratic colleagues in Congress who all, worship Israel every chance they get. I think that's the issue. I think it's just cowardice. It would have been better if she just said, you know what, I don't know enough about this topic. I haven't studied it, so I don't know. But instead, she does this word salad, and I don't think it's just because of the Abraham Accords. I'm sorry, it's just like there's no equivocating or nuance when it comes to apartheid. It's just like, especially if you're a progressive, like you can't talk that way. It's so horrific, the brutality that is inflicted on Palestinians. Even actually to call it apartheid is being generous to Israel. The Israeli group B'Tselem calls it a regime of Jewish supremacy, and that's absolutely right. And of course, long before B'Tselem said it, Palestinians have been saying it forever.
But it's not nothing that they said it now. Yeah,
that's true. Like it's important. So yeah, and it speaks to how just widely recognized it is. So if you're a progressive and you're trying to say you care about social justice, and you're talking about the most like egregious human rights situation in the world in terms of how long it's been going on for, decades of occupation and ethnic cleansing, and you can't produce a coherent answer, it's embarrassing. It speaks to just how weak the U.S. left is when it comes to any issue that goes beyond our borders. Like AOC, when she talks about domestic issues, she's principled, she's got conviction, and maybe in this case she hasn't studied the Israel-Palestine issue enough, but at least to say that would be more honest than this mealy-mouthed answer that says nothing. It's insulting,
I guess I think what happened was that I thought it's all about context, because by the end of that, I kind of thought she had been asked about the settlements. I thought it was like way too mild a critique. It's too mild a critique anyway, but at least she brought it up. But actually, also the other part is it makes it seem like but for the settlements.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is I mean.
And then when you really hone in on what Democrats really say about this, about the settlements, a lot of them won't even call for the settlements to be destroyed, which is what should happen. They're illegal.
Doesn't Israel have the right to defend itself, Aaron?
Yeah, exactly. But there's no reason about why a Jew from Brooklyn should be living on land that Palestinians have lived on for hundreds of years. So but they want to
Settlements, yeah.
But if you looked at how Obama spoke about it, he would talk about the problem being settlement expansion, which tacitly accepts the legitimacy of the settlements, of which there in reality is none. They're illegal.
There's no legitimacy. There are settlements, but the legitimacy.
There are settlements, but they're not legitimate. They're complete violation of the Geneva Convention, which says you can't move your territory into land that you've captured by force, which is exactly what happened in the West Bank. And so Obama would talk about how we have to stop the expansion of settlements. So basically, Obama was saying, okay, fine. Settlements are cool. You've already got them, but you just can't expand them. Yeah. So stop building. Stop building more. And even that Israel would ignore anyway, and Obama wouldn't do anything. But that's like, if you look at how Democrats speak about settlements, even there, it's not even clear what they're really saying.
Right.
Because they could just be opposing the expansion of the settlements, not their fundamental illegality.
Right. They want a low carbon footprint.
Exactly.
So they don't want more buildings to be built. Yeah.
Good. Can you tell us? You haven't told us. You just told us to talk about this stuff that you know we aren't experts on. Like you